Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Sunday morning, and the Raptors had one robbed from them last night. I'm not even going to say they lost. I refuse to say the Raptors lost that game last night because they didn't. You know, honestly, it's like everything that could have gone right for that game in some ways went right. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm conflicted. I don't know if I should cuss or thank Josh Tiven right now. I'm very, very confused. Either way, the Raptors get a loss officially in the NBA books last night. But last night's game will go down in the history books as a win in my head. That's right. Because honestly, we're going to remember this Shed game forever. This is going to be a game of legend. That this is something that we'll talk about. And honestly, it's kind of such a silly scenario in some ways that it's kind of, it's so weird, man. I will say this. The referees were jerks last night. In some ways, the old NBA, this shit wouldn't happen like this. Seriously. This game was in the 80s, maybe even in the 90s, maybe in the 2000s even. That game would have just been go home, Raptors won. Send the home crowd happy. Home. There wouldn't have been none of this review shit. In some ways, the review is more new and recent in the last 10 years than the history of the NBA. And it's dumb. In some ways, in wrestling, they want the face to win the last match because you want the crowd to feel, yay, the good guys won at the end. And they get to go home all happy. This is the opposite of that. This is the opposite of that. This is major heel work done to the crowd right at the end, where you make them feel like they won. And they're all jubilant. And you see everything that happened. We can have that moment still, y'all. That moment's an etched moment time of all the Raptors running on the court and mob tackling Jamal Shed and the crowd going crazy and the feelings of all that. That is all real and true. It may not officially go into the NBA books, but that is all real and true. And they can't steal that from us. They can steal the win, but they can't steal that from us. The moment, and we know he made that on time. It's so stupid. If it was other teams right at the buzzer like that, they're not even questioning it. They're just saying, game over. They won. Let's go into the locker room. We're done. But no, Josh Tiven has to be a stickler. Has to go look at every little thing. Annoy the hell out of Jack Armstrong. Eating into his bar time. Because he's on the cartoons for 5-10 minutes every time he goes there. And has to review and look at stuff. I was thinking Josh Tiven was being very fair last night. And he probably was pretty fair. He was going by the book, by how he feels the book is. But you know what? I'm going to say this is where you screwed up, Josh Tiven. When the shot clock violation happened, it grazed the rim. You said it grazed the rim, but it did really graze the rim? I don't know. In some ways, when I was looking at that whole play many times over, because you looked at it so long, it seemed like the Raptors should have 4 seconds on the clock for their last possession. Yeah. Even when they called the timeout, that's when you should have stopped the clock. But the clock ran for like a second real quick. So honestly, y'all did not correctly give us the time that we should say. You said the shot clock was correct. That's bullshit. Because there's always kind of a fumble around and stop the clock after somebody calls a timeout. So you should have added some time on there. And all Jamal needed was a millisecond. Yeah, this isn't even a half second. This isn't even a quarter second. This isn't even a fifth of a second. This is a millisecond. This is like a tenth of a second that was needed. Just that little bit more. And that shot counts and nothing's wrong with anything. It's crazy. What a crazy game. The NBA is weird, man. And every single game is a story to be unfolded in front of your eyes. And last night, well, if we're going to have a game like this happen to Jamal Shed, let's so be it. His rookie year and a year when we have a bad record. And in some ways, losing is winning this year. That's what I'm saying. I can't be totally mad. Part of me is mad because the action, because of the robbing of the crowd's enthusiasm and happiness. Monique messaged us and said she's so mad at the arena after what happened. I'm more mad for the reaction and the jerking around of our fans and Jamal Shed and our team than actually losing. I'm not. because we know that right now there's a big contingency of our fans and people that really believe we should be losing as much as possible. So in some ways, it's like I want to cuss Josh Tiven out this morning. In fact, I feel like I should. I feel like I should go off on him for a little bit, but also at the same time, maybe I should thank him. Maybe I should thank him also. At halftime, the Raptors could look at the scoreboard and see that the Nets had lost to the Charlotte Hornets, and that they had the same exact record as us all of a sudden. That's right, 21 wins and 42 losses. And well, we were going to go above them if we beat the Wizards last night. If we had won the game against Washington, we would have actually gone up above not only the Nets, but also the 76ers. We would have jumped up that high into the middle of the Atlantic Division and out of the fifth worst team in the league to like the seventh or eighth. In some ways, I had a conspiracy theory about that after halftime. It's like the Raptors were doing really good in the first half, playing really well. And then after halftime, they gave up a double-digit lead to Washington almost immediately in the third quarter. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Are these guys trying to throw this game? Are these guys not playing as well as they could? Because in some ways they saw that Brooklyn lost their game last night. I don't know. In some ways, that is something that could be looked at as far as trying to stay a certain place in the standings and staying, there by losing. I would say this: everybody looks at the wins column when you're talking about standings and losing and futility and ping pong balls, but that's not the column y'all need to look at. The column you need to look at is the loss column. Don't judge by how many wins they get. I know it's the same and it's inverse, but really the losses are banked into your record already. And if you're leading in losses, that's more important in some ways than having less wins than that. Because in the end, things will even out or figure out by the end of it. But yeah, watch the loss category when you're doing tank watch, people, not the win category. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I'm kind of mad about it. I wanted to sweep the Wizards. In some ways, I'm in denial about us losing to them because I don't think we did, honestly. And I'm going to give 5 stars for this game. I'm not going to treat it like a loss. In fact, I feel like I should hold my head high, just like Darko did after the game. Before the game, Darko was very, very uh, excited and jubilant. He was very fun. He was like really happy, really, really happy. He's wearing a sweatshirt, a hoodie with "We the North" in the middle, and all the international flags around it. And he's very much sending some very underlying messages. In fact, last night he was wearing a little pin with the Serbian flag and the Canadian flag on it. And Darko's just feeling it, man. He's had some really interesting games recently with the developing of the team and some interesting decisions he's had to make. And well, he's enjoying the challenge, I can tell. Now, after the game, he wasn't that upset either. He came out and he said, first of all, I'm very, very proud of our guys. I feel like our guys played really well, and I'm proud of them. And I'm proud of what happened. Even if they, he said, this is what he said: luck wasn't on our side. The luck was on the Washington side at the end of the game for this. Jamal Shed, very much, taking this in a mature context also. He's not mad about it. In some ways, he's annoyed, but he's also like, the action happened. That moment happened. May not be in the record book like Jacoby's, but listen, we've had 2 game winners this week by 2 different rookies this week in a very capable way. I look at that play they drawed up. Listen, first of all, it's very interesting that Jamal Shed was the inbounds man on the first time they tried to do the last play, and then they had to call a timeout. And then they switched AJ Lawson to be the inbounds, and Jamal became the guy. In some ways, that was very good coaching. Is to switch up. You show something to Brian Keefe and the Wizards with Jamal inbounding it. They're like, oh, this is what they're doing. This is an old trick. If you have an extra timeout at the end of the game, a lot of coaches will employ is to see the system that the team that's trying to score wants to run. Well, we kind of did the reverse in a fake out. We kind of showed, all right, we're going to have Jamal inbound the ball, and he almost fell and traveled, but he didn't. And And then we'll switch it up when we come back from timeout because they saw something and they thought this, and then we switch it up and we come back with this. And that was pretty cool. And it was a really well drawn play. It's just it was a millisecond too late. And I don't know. That's not Jamal's fault. I'm just telling you, man. In the old NBA, that there's nothing wrong with what he did. We win the game at the buzzer, and the game's over. Raptors fans are happy. It's just stupid, man. Stickler. Josh Tiven, you're a stickler, man. And now we're 0-6 this season with you. And when I do my annual ref report this summer, you're going to be one of the worst refs for the Raptors this season, especially with how you adjudicated the end of the game and the way you did. Come on, man. Give the fans what they want, bro. Don't be such an asshole. And, give the fans what they want. The home team the victory because they, you know what? They felt it. They had it. But then you want to be Scrooge McDuck, Grinch. Yeah, you go ahead and Grinch us, motherfucker. Yeah, fuck you, Josh Tiven. Here's your 2-finger salute. You knew it was coming. Comma Crazy come in here yesterday, said no swearing Sunday. Sorry, Comma Crazy. I'm fucking cussing on Sundays because of Josh Tiven. Man, it was an interesting game. I mean, obviously we're not trying to win it, y'all. You see RJ, Jakob, Scotty sitting on the bench, even Jamison Battle. We can't even try with it. Like, we're down by a certain amount of points, and this guy's shooting all the threes for us, Jamison Battle in his mask. And we don't even put him at the end of the game to try and win the game. That's just telling everybody what we're trying to do there. And in some way, Josh Tiven was in on it, and he helped us. So there's two ways to look at it. I'll give him a 2-finger salute just for making the fans so upset. But I will say thank you also for giving us an L and doing that action too. So it's like, man, I feel so bipolar today. It's so stupid. All right, y'all, let's do the reaction, baby. It's a Raptor Freak stream. We're reacting to a crazy-ass game against the Washington Wizards last night. And we have a preview for the Capital City Go-Go at the Raptors 905, 2 p.m. tip-off today on this crazy spring forward time change day. That's right. It's really like 8:37. But, Lex gets up. And Lex is there. Even if the clock changes, it makes it harder for me. I'm up an hour earlier, and I'm here. And I'm glad to see there's people here with me right now, too. So let's see what y'all are saying this morning. Yeah, I want your fiery speeches. I want your takes on what happened last night. I want you to tell me how you feel about it today, Raptors Freak. That's right. I want y'all to tell me exactly what's up with how you felt about the game last night. Don't even hold back. Just be completely real and just tell me everything you want to say. I want to hear it all. Daniel Barry's first in today. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Thank you. Good morning to you, sir, also. That's right. Y'all want sports highlights? Daniel Barry's your guy. There you go. Daniel Barry. Woo-hoo. Yeah, just like Arsenio. Let's go. Yeah, Trevor saying, trust the process. Okay, I don't like that vernacular. Are we the Sixers? No, we're not. And after what they did with the process, I don't want anything to do with the process. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. And in some ways, this is a cool thing. Like, in some ways, Jamal got the process yesterday. He understands. In some ways, like, you're going to have this disheartening thing like this happen. You might as well get it done in this kind of situation in the best possible way. If we're a playoff team, we're really trying, striving to get as many wins and home court advantage in the playoffs right now in a year's to. We don't want a game like this to happen. So in a year like this year, yeah, this is kind of a good learning lesson for Shed to get out of the way. Shed said in the interview after the game that this happened to him in Houston, where he was trying to score a basket and he missed the last second shot and he failed and they lost. And he cried that night when he called his parents and said, this is a failure. And it hurts, Mom. It hurts. Well, this is what he hearkened to with last night. But because he'd been through that already when he was in Houston, this time was a little easier to shoulder the disappointment of not making the last second shot at the end of the game. But Jamal, you did make it. That's the thing. You did make it. You can't be that upset because you did make it, man. And Josh Tiven can be a little bitch-ass punk. And I will say you got that. Like I said, just like Morris Peterson's crazy-ass half-court game-winning shot. Just like storied things like DeMar DeRozan running down the lane and dunking it to win a game. Just like Pascal Siakam's last-second layup against Phoenix Suns. These games are legendary game-ending buzzer-beater shots. And this game last night will go in my head as one of them, even if it's unofficial. And I will always say, as a diehard Raptors fan, Raptors freak, that I will always remember that Jamal Shed game as a victory, even though it wasn't officially because of Josh Tiven. I'm just saying. If you're talking about ethical tanking, NBA, take notes. The Raptors know how to ethical tank at the highest efficiency. In fact, right down to the most pinpoint of a millisecond. That is how good we ethical tank. We could kick their ass the whole 48.9999 minutes of the game. And just that 0.000001 is where we ethically tank and lose the game by 1 point. You know, listen, we want to lose to an extent, but we don't want our guys to not try and not play right and play down the competition. And they did play down the competition a little bit last night. I have to say, their energy and getting after it on defense was not good last night. In fact, that's part of the reason why Washington scored so many points. But, you know, they still managed to, like, there was Jakob going crazy late in the game and getting us back into it. There's all kinds of stuff like that. Darko had to take Jakob out because that man was trying to win that game single-handedly. And he was doing some crazy-ass guard stuff for a little while in there. It's like Jakob was playing guard for a second. It was all a topsy-turvy game. RJ got to play a lot of point guard. Scotty got point guard straight up, real point guard last night in the second half. We played double centers for a big part of the game. It was very weird, very strange. And some of that stuff was only allowable because of the Wizards being our opponent. You know, RJ playing point guard like that for a big chunk of the game, we can't get away with that against most teams because they play regular, real point guards. But when you go play a team that plays Jordan Poole at point guard, and then like the backup is also like a big guy like Bub Carrington, well, you can play RJ at point guard and get away with it. There's no speedy defensive guard that's going to go out there and hamper him and try and steal the ball from him and make it hard for him. So, yeah, that was very successful. And we did really get to see some minutes where Scott truly was the point guard and not just by a label. He really was a point guard. When you're running two centers and then like also like another big man, Scotty's a guard and he's handling the ball coming up. He's a true point guard. And in some ways, those moments with Scotty running point guard were not as successful as RJ running point guard. I'm going to say that right now, too. I like the double center look. This is like Cool Cat and I got our dream finally. 3 centers available for the Raptors and all in the rotation and kind of playing together at times. Colin Castleton playing the 4 alongside Jakob and Orlando Robinson for a good percentage of the game, honestly. It was an interesting look. I like being a big team. It was fun. It was very, very fun. Yeah, let's see what else y'all are saying here. He said, trust the process. What's meant for you will never miss you. Every delay, every setback, every closed door is making room for something greater. God's timing is perfect. Just keep going. Yeah, let's send this message to Jamal Shed right now. Yeah, exactly. Every delay, every setback, Josh Tiven, every closed door. This is not a win for the Raptors. Is making room for something greater. I totally agree. And some people will say, yeah, this is making room for more ping pong balls so we can get a high draft pick still. Yeah, thank you for your words of wisdom, Trevor J. I appreciate you every day. That's right. Trust the process even when you don't see it. Yeah, I don't like seeing Joel Embiid, so I don't want to see him. I don't want to trust him either. All right, let's keep going. Trevor J saying the referees handed one over to Washington last night, taking away Shed's game winner. They didn't want it to happen twice. So you're saying the NBA didn't like that Jacoby Walter got a game winner against Orlando, and they didn't want a second Toronto Raptors rookie to get a game winner against the Wizards. Well, he's made the front page of ESPN anyway. ESPN put in an article out this morning about Jamal Shed's game-winning shot waved off. The Associated Press saying it here. Toronto, Jamal Shed flipped the ball high off the glass at the buzzer and ended up at the bottom of a celebratory scrum with his Toronto Raptors teammates. What a game winner until it wasn't. You know, Shed appeared to hit a winning layup at the buzzer against the Wizards, but he and the Raptors, along with their fans, ended up deflated when a video review showed he got the shot off 0.1 seconds too late. You know, honestly, it's really like, you know, it's such a 50-50 call. That call, it really did seem like his hand, it was so ambiguously right at the split second where he released it, maybe just a little bit too late. But still, I'm telling you, in the old days, these refs were nicer and they wanted to give the fans something to be happy about. They don't want to rob them. Well, Josh Tiven really want to rob them, I guess. Man, yeah, he's kind of a butthead. He really is. When I think about it more, I really do think about it more. Yeah. Mike saying the rookies and G League guys closed the game. If we won, we would have been the seventh seed. That's right. See, we dropped from fifth all the way to seventh because we leapfrogged Brooklyn and Philadelphia because of where they're at. They're very close to us. I don't want to do this though. I don't want to play limbo lower now. How low can you go? I don't want to do this because they are going to do better at it than we will. Seriously. They have hard schedules still. Seriously, the Nets are playing still like the Celtics and the Lakers and all kinds of teams coming up right now. We got to play the Wizards again. And then we got to play Philadelphia himself. And that game on Wednesday is going to be really weird, man. When we play the Sixers on Wednesday, and yeah, they really ain't trying to win. And that'll be weird, man. I don't know how to deal with that. I want to sweep the Sixers. I really, really do. But I know some ways we're going to be doing weird shit, like not playing Jamison Battle at the end of the game. That much of a tank is like, oh, we're not going to play Jamison Battle at the end of the game. It's like we'll play all the other guys that we have available. No Chris Boucher. No Chris Boucher. He's going to help us win too. Yeah, yep. Mike saying we won, but didn't win. I know. So in some ways, I should be happy. It all worked out exactly perfect for the Raptors in some ways. Because I will say this, Mike, we did win. We totally won. But technically, we didn't. So in some ways, we got the best of both worlds. Seriously. The Wizards were so annoying at the end of the game. You guys didn't do jack shit to celebrate on our court like that. Jordan Poole, you're an idiot. Seriously, man. Just because Josh Tiven handed y'all a game, you shouldn't be standing in the middle of our arena waving at the fans and doing shit like that. Y'all have 13 wins this season, you dumbass. Actually, I wouldn't even say you have 13 wins. You have 12 and a half wins. That was a half win last night. I'm sorry. That shouldn't even count, honestly. You still have 12 wins. I'm sorry. You have 12 wins for the season. You're out there on our court acting like y'all are something. No, you're not. It's embarrassing, honestly, how you did that. And it's not like y'all did anything to have this happen. Josh Tiven handed you guys that. Seriously. So don't get all like Raptors fans and make fun of them after the loss. You know, you have nothing to do with that in some ways. You really don't, even though you scored a bunch of points and made a bunch of shots. Yeah, that you had nothing to do with them winning the game last night. In some ways, it was Josh Tiven absolutely handing you a game. That's right. Fiercey saying, good morning, fam, and happy Sunday. Lewinberg must be super happy. Whatever. I honestly don't know how to feel. I'm not putting my hopes up for remaining wins, and the game was a turnoff. Yeah, I hate that. You know what? It is what it is. I just told myself, like I said in the chat last night, whatever happens this game, I'm going to be happy. And I promised myself that no matter what. Well, they toyed with my emotions. They made me feel a certain way, and then I had to jerk out of my head. In some ways, that's annoying. It is. But you know what? It's the NBA. Expect whatever the fucking crazy shit could happen. And in some ways, that is what it is. I don't know. We got to take it game by game, Fiercey, and we'll see. You know, there may be more games that are weird like this by the end of the season. There's a lot of games still. That's the other crazy thing. We still got like 18 games to go. And, well, it's going to kind of be what it's going to be like for the rest of the season. What's happening right now? It's weird, ambiguous, like, should we win or should we lose? Darling, you got to let me know. Should we win or should we lose? That's right. Darko's thinking that every night. He's calculating in his brain. Should we win or should we lose? Brooklyn lost again tonight. Should we win or should we lose? Yeah. Some clash this morning. That's right. I don't care what Lewinberg's thinking right now. Actually, the Twitter guys are pretty funny last night with what happened and like talking about it. They're being a lot more respectful towards the team. In some ways, they realize there's people like the Raptors freaks out there that really passionately love the team, and denigrating and gaslighting and putting down the team. Some of the media people have gotten a lot better in the last couple of years. I'd like to hope that I had a little bit of an impact on that as far as showing a strong respect for the team and demanding a respect for our team from our media personalities. And I feel like they've done better in recent years. You know, a lot of them. I know Leo was a little weird at the beginning of the game. And, you know, this is the thing that annoyed me about what Leo said before the game last night. He said, you don't want to have a rebuild year and turn out to be mid. What the fuck, Leo? You're paid to analyze basketball. Why can't you see what Jack and Matt see during the game? Have you listened to Jack Armstrong when he's saying the Raptors are going to be really good next year when they add Brandon Ingram and a new draft pick? Can you not see this? Leo Routens, what makes you think we're going to be mid next year? And they went over it during the game. Jack Armstrong and Matt Devlin talking about when we have our regular starters, our barbecue yak dick. Yeah, the defensive rating is off the charts. It's over 100, Jack. Oh, that's really good, Matt. If we could get that regularly all the time. Yeah, what's not to worry, man? When these guys are healthy and they're together, including Brandon Ingram, I don't know what's mid about that, Leo Routens. I really don't. And what are you worried about? Like, we got Jacoby Walter, Grady Dick, Oshai Abaji, Jamal Shed, Jonathan Mobo, Jamison Battle, Alrish Shamshay coming through the pipes, coming on up, moving on up. What does Darko do? He's a development coach. And he even talked about his development philosophies and how he looks at it before the game in his pregame interview, talking about, every single player I always have in development. I have something they're striving for and to achieve and to get better. I look at what they naturally can already do and they're talented at. And I think about what is the logical next step for them to go with that skill to progress in their careers to get better and better. And then he also said, I feel if a player is not continuing to develop all the time, well, they're just starting to denigrate and get worse and worse. They always have to be developing and getting better and better and better. And each individual player has their own development plans and skills that we need to hence to get them better to the next level. That's what he said before the game. So, Leo Routens, what's mid about this situation? What is mid about the Raptors situation? Why do you think they're going to be mid next year? And what the fuck is mid in the NBA anymore anyway? The NBA has parity again. The NBA doesn't have super teams that just run roughshod over the whole entire league of 30 teams. No, the salary cap structure and rules allow for parity. And they allow for teams that you think will be just mid because they didn't get a high enough draft pick. Ooh, Leo Routens. Ooh. No, what the fuck is going to be mid about the Raptors next year, Leo Routens? And why are you so long in doing your job for the Raptors? Why can't you see this? Mid? You think the Raptors are going to be mid when Brandon Ingram plays for them next year? You're crazy. And in some ways, I'm worried about you, bro. Come on, man. You need your head checked? Seriously, what's going to be mid about this team, regardless of where they pick in the draft this year? Seriously, I don't care where they pack. I want a top 10 pick, sure. I want a top 10 pick. 10 could be the pick, and I'd be happy. We could pick a 10, and I'd be happy. I don't care. I just want 10 and up. I don't really want 5 and up, though. I want 10 through 6. So if the Raptors can pick between 10 and 6, I say mission accomplished. We're going to be good. We're going to have a good young player added to the mix of the rotation off the bench and not starting. They even talked about this last night. It's like, what if you draft Cooper Flag? Jack, what happens? Well, is he going to start? I don't know. In some ways, we don't need that problem. In some ways, we don't need that salary cap hit, is what I would say right there. Yeah, Leo, what the fuck is mid about the Raptors for next year? Seriously, what is mid for them next year? Seriously. And why you spew this shit on the channel, on the show? That's the reason why Tank Nation exists, because people online and people on the TV are saying things like Josh Lewenberg and Leo Routens do. That's what I'm saying. What is there to worry about with the Raptors situation right now? That is what I'm saying. 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 So bright. I got to wear shades. That's right. That's right. All right. Kareem saying, I fell to my knees after the call was reversed. In hindsight, what a learning experience. Our pipeline is golden. Our future is bright. That's right. That's right. Listen, it's like, whatever, guys. I've been saying for the last couple months, we win, we win. We lose, we win. It's like we're laughing either way. In some ways, we know that call it whatever you want. Moral victory. Call it whatever you want. Look, you can see what happened. The action happened. The emotion was let out. The fans and the players, they felt that moment. And that moment will always be there, even if Josh Tiven said it's not official and it didn't count. I don't care. That moment can never be stolen. Those guys were so happy. Did you see them all run out on the court? Did you see how crazy that arena went? In fact, they asked Darko after the game, what's it like to have a crowd that gets like that here at Scotiabank Arena? And Darko got really emotional in some ways, and he said the Toronto fans are the best in the world. They always show up, always sell out our arena. They're always there for us. We have the best fans in the NBA. That is what Darko said in the post-game interview about the jubilation and the way the fans were after the game. And, he's really proud of us. And I know those guys and I know the coaches and the organization really do appreciate us. Seriously, the fans, the people that really, really stand by them and cheer them on wholeheartedly. That's right. Fiercely saying, just saying how I'm feeling this morning. Perfect. You're exactly right. It was a turnoff, and life's not fair. Life has a bunch of crooked ass motherfuckers in power right now. And in some ways, life isn't fair sometimes. And in some ways, you got to keep plugging away. Trevor's right. You got to trust that process of life. And in some ways, keep plugging away, keep doing what you do, and the work will come through and you will get it done. And that's the thing. Jamal Shed is laughing after this. In some ways, they can't take away the action, the motion in the emotion. And that's what I'm saying. And he got that, and he made it, man. He made that shot. And the whole thing is just what it is, but we got robbed. And, well, it all worked out in the perfect way in some ways. If you really think about it, it really did. Nako saying, love Jamal's recovery from that dribble. Yeah, man, what a crazy game. All right, let's do the stars of the game real quick. Although I do need to do a ref report real quick. 2:00 is when we're tipping off today against the Capital City Go-Go, the G League team for the Washington Wizards. Our crew chief for that game will be Klaja Mula, number 79. The referee is Cameron Garber, number 33, and the umpire is Jafar Kinsey, number 38. That's going to be a game out at Mississauga. We'll have to see who's available for the 905 from the big squad. Maybe we'll see some Jared Roden, some AJ Lawson, some Colin Castleton, and those guys playing for them today. Who's on the Capital City Go-Go? Well, there's some familiar faces here, guys. I got to say, Tristan Vucevic is on this team. JT Thor, Eric Stevenson, Jalen Noel, Jalen Martin, Chase Jeter, Michael Foster, Taylor Funk, Leaky Black, and 3 former Raptors, Kyra Lewis Jr., Mohamedou Gay, and our old friend Jalen McDaniels. That's right. So the Capital City Go-Go will be playing the 905 with old Jalen McDaniels, Leaky Black, Kyra Lewis Jr., and Mo Gay will be playing against the Raptors 905 at 2:00. I hope you'll join me in the YouTube chat. I'll be in there talking. And hopefully our good friend Blake Murphy will be there also to answer any highfalutin questions about movements with the team and stuff like that. We love you, Blake, and I appreciate you, as I said in a comment on the stream before. Thank you for your updates on the roster moves around the Raptors recently. There's been a lot going on with adding new players like Loudon Love and Lacey James, and keeping us abreast of all the comings and goings of players between the Raptors and the Raptors 905. I appreciate you, Blake Murphy, for the information that you disperse to fans like me. And I appreciate you for it. I just wanted to make a note for that real quick. So, yeah, Nameless is saying this. My paisano, good morning. I feel so bad for Shed. That moment stolen away from him. After seeing the footage of Shed at the bottom of that dog pile, heartbreaking. Yeah, seeing how happy his teammates were for him, then stripped away. Yeah. Listen, I get what you're saying, but in some ways, that's the bittersweet weirdness of the reality of life. Life is fleeting. Life is temporary. And in some ways, that's a very interesting, weird, symbol of it, what happened with Jamal last night. Listen, they can't take that moment away. That moment is still there until a couple seconds later, he makes an announcement and disappoints the whole entire crowd and gets a lot of boos. Yeah, gets a lot of boos. Listen, I understand exactly what you're saying, but I don't know if Jamal in his head is feeling like he got something stolen from him, though. It may be in your head, but I don't know if he feels that. I really don't. He was pretty upbeat after the game and taking it in stride as a mature young rookie. Crazy. The guy's wise beyond his years. Maybe a less emotionally intelligent person would be acting out and acting crazy, but this dude gets it. He really kind of sees it all in a certain way. And you know what? He's moving on. That's what he said. We move on. We go on to the next thing. And it's Washington again. It's Washington again. Name was saying, too bad Jacoby Walter and Mobo couldn't play. I mean, there's all kinds of woulda, coulda, shouldas in this game. I mean, that's why Washington should not be celebrating or anything like that. I mean, we didn't play IQ. We didn't play IQ at all. Brandon Ingram's still hurt over there. I'm telling you. Who else was hurt? Oh, Grady Dick, Oshai Abaji, Jonathan Mobo, Jacoby Walter. Yeah, we could go through a laundry list, and we didn't even play Chris Boucher. So it's like, yeah, we can go through a laundry list and say, yeah, what reasons here? It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's keep going. Nako saying, had a friend in the crowd. He said watching the cheers to booze was wild. Yeah, it's like a wrestling match, I'll bet. Very much like last weekend with the Elimination Chamber coming to Toronto at the Skydome and John Cena turning heel. Yeah, it was a similar kind of thing, I'll bet. John Cena's going to be so nice to Cody Rhodes, and then he's going to stab him in the back. And then everybody's going to start booing. Boo! It was like wrestling last night. Toying with the crowd's emotions. Yeah, you won. No, you didn't. Boo! Boo! Get him. Josh Tiven had to get out there quick last night. Holy crap, he had to get out there quick. Yeah, I didn't like all the delays either. Jack Armstrong was really, really mad about how long Josh Tiven takes on breaks for looking at stuff. And it's true. Although a couple of things he had to review were very intricate and kind of difficult to review. And that's part of the reason why he took so long. But I do think that Josh Tiven does take longer than the average ref with the challenges. I'd be surprised to hear, or I'd love to hear, that the NBA times the referees for how long the delays of the games happen when they have to do reviews, because they may have stats on them somewhere out there. I'd love to have them. NBA, release your timed review times for all the refs. I want to see who's the slowest ass ref that figured out a review and who's the fastest. And then I'll talk about it on the channel. That'd be fun. Yeah, I want to look at that. Yeah. Build the system over trust the process. Build the system. I like that, Nako. I'm going to give you a dunk. We're talking about building the system, not trusting the process. That's right. That is copyrighted by the Sixers, a loser organization. I'm sorry. That's just the damn truth. Trust the process is one of the dumbest things that has ever been said about a man who's called the process. And you trust that man? You really trust that man at this point with his knees? Come on now, Philadelphia. You don't. 18 points for Nako on the dunk charts for saying build the system. All right, I'm about that. I'm about that switch. Nako's saying, I think Champagny had a game winner for us against OKC that got shot clocked. Shed had the more impressive basket. Yeah, it was interesting. Champagny got out there for a little bit. He got a block in the game. Just for a sec, he was out there for a sec. It's funny, they were running out for the game before the game, and Chris Boucher was running out last because he's the oldest vet on our team. Not the oldest by age, but the person who's been on the team the longest. And he runs out last. Garrett ran out the game before because Chris wasn't available. It's kind of a symbolic thing. And while he was running out, Champagny ran out with him. I don't know if y'all caught this. This was on the league pass. And they bumped into each other running out, and they had a big hug. It was kind of fun to see the former teammates, Justin Champagny and Chris Boucher, talking to each other on the way out of the locker room to take the court before the game. Nameless saying, tanking with class. Trey Bellissimo. That's right. Nameless. That's right. Everything with class. The top notch. All the best. That's right. Nameless saying, with a glass of cognac on ice in their laps. I mean, yeah, I can see why people are mad about this. It's kind of like, if you're a baby and somebody comes up to you and gives you a shiny, colorful toy and you let you play with it for like a second, and then they just come over and jerk it out of your hands and run over out of the room with it. And yeah, that baby's like, that's exactly what they kind of did to the crowd last night. It ain't right, I tell you. It ain't right, Josh Tiven. 2-finger salute. Kareem said, the current state of the Toronto Raptors franchise, we celebrate victories that turn out to be defeats that ultimately turn out to be victories. That's deep, bro. That is deep, man. There's layers to this, obviously. So, yeah, I'm going to give you a dunk on that one. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's totally weird. It's upside down world. But once again, we cannot lose. No matter what happens right now, we cannot lose either way. We're going to be good either way because Brandon's on his way. That's right. Darko said some really nice things about Brandon Ingram after the game last night. He said that Brandon Ingram is somebody he's watched from afar for many years and always thought about him like, why is he so good? Why is he like this with the way he executes and shoots and does his offense? And Darko said, well, now I know because he's working with me now. And when I talk to him about basketball, and I've gotten to know him more since he's been here, he's so smart. He's brilliant. He's a basketball junkie. He loves basketball. He said that he's second to none was his love and passion for basketball and learning. And he said he's really impressed with him. And he said he's absolutely gotten with the culture and the chemistry of the teammates and the rest of the team. We've seen that already. He didn't need to tell us that. But Darko said some amazing things about Brandon, and he's very, very excited about working with him as a player on the team, as he is already working with him right now. So who knows what Darko's projects for Brandon are in development to make him a better player from where he is as a 9-year pro already. It could be very, very intriguing and interesting. And I think that a lot of the stuff that Darko's going to try and develop for Brandon, much like RJ, is not necessarily about scoring. You know, it's fun to see RJ play point and pass the ball the way he does. He's a really good passer. RJ makes some crazy ass passes. Although I will say the Raptors were careless with their passing last night with some of these cross court passes that were just kind of not enough on them. And there's a couple different guys that did this. Shed and Barrett, probably the two worst, as far as just lazy passes that get picked off and turn into steals. Now, the one thing I didn't like about the Raptors game last night, and this is what Leo was saying too, is they weren't playing defense right. We've had a certain level of defensive intensity in the year of 2025 that was not there last night. We should normally be able to stop a Wizards team a lot easier from scoring like 30 points every quarter. And that's something that I wasn't impressed with. They were kind of taking a night off with the defense. But was that on purpose? Because, you know, we're not trying to totally win right now? I don't know. I can't say for sure. So it's tough. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. Yeah, let's see. Smooth saying, I'm happy, man. All right, there you go. I like Reggie's happy. It's a good experience. It'll all pay off. Totally. This is putting money in the bank account, the savings for later right now. Yeah, grow that savings account at the bank on interest, Jamal Shed, and get that experience right now. Know that you made it. You made it, but just a little slight hair late. Just a slight hair late. And like I said, I feel like they should have put more time on the clock from the 24-second violation that didn't happen or something. I don't know. Either way, they should have put more time on the clock. I feel like not because of the not violation, but because the timeout was called sooner than when they gave the clock. See, that's always the case. When people call timeout, often there's a little bit of time that elapses after the timeout that they should probably give back. And, well, if you're going to go over there and review it and spend so much time watching cartoons, Josh Tiven, you might as well give us the extra time that we're supposed to get from when Darko actually called the timeout. And I speculate that instead of about 2.5 seconds, which is what we got, we should have had at least 3.5 to 4 seconds on the clock. And that would have covered what Shed did easily, where it would have fallen in regulation. So it's just a perfect storm of losing by 1 point. Well, is it a bad thing? Did anybody see the reaction of Bobby Webster at the end of the game? Like the other game? I don't know. I would have liked to see his reaction after this. Who knows? Bobby may have been smiling just as big after this game-winning shot by Jamal Shed as he did when Jacoby hit his. So I don't know. They may be. UC's here. Good to see Raptor Freak UC. Good morning, Raptor Gang. Good morning to you, UC. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. What a roller coaster of emotions last night. What a roller coaster of emotions. That's right. Name was saying playing the Sixers on Wednesday will be like a game of hot potato. You take it. I got it type of shit. Yeah. No, I can see this. This will be fun because in some ways it's like Darko, the competitor in him, kind of wants to beat his predecessor. And what about Nick? Come on, man. You think Nick Nurse wants to lose the Raptors after getting fired by them? It's going to be a really weird kind of situation where I won't know. Maybe Nick won't have Joel, Tyrese, and Paul George, but he'll have people out there trying to win still. And maybe he'll tell them, do it for me. They fired me, guys. I'm so mad at them. You know, do something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. We can't expect it just to be like the script is both these teams are going to try to lose as much as possible. Because in some ways, there's the competitiveness of each person that's on the court that could change things. Jacoby Walter, Jakob Pertl last night. And then there's like, you know, the coaches' wants and competitiveness. And then there's the front office's wants and what they want. You know, there's a lot of different powers and forces going against each other. And some of it's like, yeah, you don't want half step, Big Daddy Kane. There ain't no half stepping. You're going to go on that court. You better play full out. You cannot half-ass it. You know, don't practice half-assing. If you half-ass it, well, you become the Sixers. We got to go all out and play correctly and play the way we're supposed to. And if we lose, we lose. So it's a weird one, man. It's a weird one. UC saying we're easily winning against the Sixers. They're horrible. I know. That's the thing. And we can't stoop to the levels of these teams. We cannot do this limbo game. We do not need to be like Pee Wee Herman going under the low, low bar that's set by our opponents coming up. That's why it's like, look, I'm okay with losing to the Wizards last night because Jordan Poole actually went off and had a crazy-ass shooting performance last night. If he doesn't do that, we kick their ass. They absolutely need Jordan Poole to do that to be able to beat us. Seriously. But in some ways, it's like, dude, you didn't beat us. Come on, don't get out on our court and act like that. The refs beat us, bro. Come on, man. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Smooth saying that LeBron strained his groin. Uh-oh. And Nameless is saying because he's 45. Yeah, it's funny. They had to get in all that Lakers hype in the last couple of days because, reality comes crashing down. Who they play last night? The defending champion Boston Celtics. Well, did the Lakers look like they're going to go far in the playoffs against the Celtics last night? No, they didn't. And it's almost funny, the timing. I said this yesterday in the morning. I said that the Lakers are not a true bona fide playoff threat because there's better complete teams that are deeper out there. And then, boom, goes the dynamite. They faced the Celtics last night. And it's shown that a more complete team, a championship team from last year, will beat a team with two superstars and a bunch of jabronis. And now LeBron's hurt and he's going to miss some games. Well, I mean, the Lakers will be in the playoffs regardless. They're up there in the standings. And that, in some ways, is what they want. They want the ratings. They want LeBron in the playoffs. That's always something they manufactured to try and make happen. And they failed in years past, too, because they're so bad. So we'll have to see. But, the Lakers are not a serious title contender. I'm sorry. They just aren't. That's Lakers fans nation just getting all goofy with their dreams and not really thinking about things reality-wise. That's what I would say right there. Yeah. Mike's saying PG and some Philly players were booed at a WWE show at Wells Fargo. Laugh out loud. Really? Paul George? Where's Waldo now? He's at Wells Fargo going to WWE, and he's getting booed by the Sixers fans there. Man, I know, man. He's such a fraud, bro. I think that Sixers fans will hate Paul George forever. I think they hated him from before when he played for the Pacers, and now they hate him because he played for the Sixers. Names is saying, if you're older than I am, you should not be playing in this league. Yikes. Okay, ageist. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. I don't know. I think that LeBron's still playing at a very good level. And honestly, he is very good for the league in certain ways. In some ways, he's been bad for the league. But in certain ways, he's been very, very good for the league. Certain ways. So, I don't know. I can't get behind this. I'm not going to get ageist like this. I'm sorry, Nameless. I just can't. G saying the Wiz were so happy as if their starters didn't almost blow it against rookies, newbies, and two ways. I know. It's so unclassy. It's almost like they wanted to play the heels in that moment. They wanted to revel in the heel heat and stay out there and be like, dude, come on, man. Don't even do that, bro. It's cheesy. It's stupid. It's so dumb. It's like, seriously, y'all really actually lost. You did. So don't even act like this. It's not like you did anything to affect the end of the game right at the end. The referees did it. Gee, always good to see you in the chat, man. Nako's saying, we got rookies that can perform and crunch. I'm ecstatic. I know. This is great. And the other great thing is we're putting our bench in against starters consistently this past week, and they're playing very well against them. What was one of the biggest problems of the Raptors since the Tampa year? During the Tampa year is we never had a capable bench, never had players that could come out and compete against, regardless the starters, the second team of the other team. We'd always have a fall off, and it was always around that part of the game where we lose leads or get blown out all of a sudden. Yeah. So it's really nice to see rookies like Jamal Shed and Jamison Battle and Mobo and Walter get in these late games and excel against starters like Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero and Chris Middleton and Jordan Poole. That's really, really big deal, and it's good. It's really, really good. Really, really good. Cool Cat's here. Coach Cool Cat's in the house. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. 1 hour less sleep is nothing for the morning show. That's right. Whatever. I fell asleep last night at a decent time, and I feel rested right now. So Good morning to you, Cool Cat. I hope you have a great Sunday. And well, let's watch the 905 play the Capital City Go Go at 2 p.m. If you guys are free, I'll join you in the YouTube chat. Nako saying these game winners, regardless if they count, they're not easy. You know what? Actually, the one that Shed made was very easy because they just gave him an open lane. He just ran right to the basket and laid it up. The Jacoby one was very difficult. And it's funny. They've kind of done some quarterbacking, armchair quarterbacking on it. Like, who was it that said it? I think it was Shed. Shed said that shot was so ugly that Jacoby made. It's like not his normal shot. And I was like, there's no way he's going to make that. But he did. It was pretty funny to hear some of the other Raptors talk about Jacoby's shot and how it went in. All right, let me do the stars of the game real quick for the game. And as I said, even though they lost, I'm giving them 5 stars like it's a win because our Raptors deserve it, even if Josh Tiven didn't feel like they did. So I'm gonna give them 5 stars. My number 1 star of the game last night was Pirtle. Pirtle was so fun last night. And that stretch near the end of the game in his last shift, he was like doing dominant stuff. Like I said, he was doing guard stuff. He was doing some fancy up and unders. His little Fluterhosen drives to the basket and then reverse layups in. I call them Fluterhosen because they're just like they're weird, man. When Jakob is on the move through the lane and he's putting up these layups, they're crazy. And then he even had a backcourt steal where he was in the backcourt and he stole the ball like a guard would and got a fast break coming back the other way, tossed it to Jared Roden for an easy dunk. Yeah, I love that stuff, man. Pirtle, you're so fun, man. And I love what the broadcaster would talk about with Pirtle. The difference between Pirtle as a rookie on the Raptors and Pirtle now in the school of Popovich, going down to San Antonio. He became a confident vet. He learned how to communicate with young players around him, like the Spurs were around him. And when he was down there, and he's come back and he's just such a vocal guy. Jack Armstrong commenting is like, man, I didn't realize Pirtle was so talkative on the court and such a confident leader. And he is a big part of it. Him and Scotty are very, very communicative on defense. And that's a huge key to why our defense is so good. Pirtle, 24 minutes on the minutes restriction still. 9 of 13 from the field. Bellissimo. 3 of 3 at the free throw line. How do you do? 2 offensive rebounds, 5 rebounds altogether, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, a +1 with 21 points in 24 minutes. Trey Magnifique. That is amazing, Austrian Hammer. You are my number 1 star of the game last night. I love that stat line so much. The 5 rebounds and 5 assists, and he didn't get 2 blocks. He got 2 steals. Amazing stuff. Jakob, you're a badass. You made all your free throws, and you were 9 of 13. Number 1 star of the game. Very, very good. Second star of the game is the Mask Man. Once again, he's going to make the top stars of the game for the Raptors 2 nights in a row on the back-to-back Jamison battle. I'm just loving how locked in he was last night. Jamison 4 for 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. Once again, really, really good from 3. 4 offensive rebounds for him, too. He was getting in there, mixing it up with 8 rebounds altogether. Only 1 turnover, a +5 with 11 points in 21 minutes. I just love that Jamison is just like a godsend to the Raptors. He's undrafted. Bobby and Masai are badasses. They get people like Justin Champagny, Marquise Noel, and Jamison Battle with that undrafted spot. And boy, is Jamison Battle looking like the best one of all the ones they got in the last 5 years, whether it's Ron Harper Jr., whoever they got after the draft was over, undrafted. Jamison Battle is the best one they've gotten in a long, long, long time. Just like Fred VanVleet maybe before was the best one ever. But this one is the best one recently. And man, think about it, y'all. This is why Bobby and Masai don't need draft picks, because they could get a guy without a draft pick. This is going to be a rotational sharpshooter, 3-point shooter, floor spacer for the Raptors for years to come. And man, Jamison, you make them look good. You really make them look good, don't you? Boy, do you. Boy, do you. My third star of the game is Jared Roden. Jared Roden, all-around good play off the bench in 29 minutes, 4 of 8 from the field. Very efficient. He missed both his threes, but 5 of 6 at the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 1 block, 3 turnovers, a +6 with 13 points off the bench. Jared Roden, just very active, very good defensively, and just smart. Jack Armstrong loves Jared Roden because he plays that old school New York hard-hitting style, going at the basket, taking the contact, and going right through him. I know you said that a couple times about him, and you can tell Armstrong has a strong affinity for the game of Jared Roden. And I'm loving it too, man. And I love that he has some security, much like Battle, that he's going to be around for a while. This is the thing. The Raptors are kind of showing some of the guys that they're already kind of side pieces that they're investing in contract for next year also. That's the thing. We really kind of got our roster mostly figured out for next year. And as people are saying right now, Brandon Ingram is the big free agency acquisition of the summer. We just got him early. We're in good shape. We're in good shape. Good job, Roden. My 4-star is RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett in the first quarter was, oh my gosh, he played perfect. Him and Scotty were such a good 1-2 punch. That first quarter was amazing. Like Scotty and RJ were both really, really perfect in the first quarter. And they were on the court at alternate times. It's like, here's Scotty's time. RJ's going to run this for this time. He's going to come out. Or Scotty will come in. Scotty will run it for this time. There's a lot of that. RJ, 28 minutes, 7 of 17 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. He was dialed in with those threes. 5 of 5 at the free throw line. You got to love RJ Barrett making all 5 of his free throws yesterday. Seriously, 9 rebounds. 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 5 turnovers, minus 15, but 23 points for RJ in 28 minutes. He was just a lot of fun in the first quarter, very, very efficient and perfect. Then later on, playing point guard a lot and not doing bad. He really didn't do that horrible. I mean, the 5 turnovers is but otherwise, RJ was out there running the team for segments of the game and absolutely was the point guard last night. No denying he was. So, RJ, good job. And, of course, he plays really big at home. We love RJ Barrett at Scotiabank Arena. He's something else there. My last star of the game, I was going to give it to Scott. But you know what? Maybe I'll give it to Shed. I'll give it to Shed, the last star, even though it didn't count. He should have got that game winner. 5 for 12 for Shed, 29 minutes, 1 of 2 at the free. 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. So a 9-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for Shetty as the starting point guard last night. 11 points, a +2. And yeah, I guess I can give Scott some shine here real quick. Scotty did not shoot well overall. 4 of 16, 1 of 3 from 3, but 9 of 10 at the free throw line. I love to see that. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 turnovers, a -1, and 18 points for Scotty in 27 minutes. Scotty had the methodical stuff again. Very, very patient, very much taking his time. He's evolving every single game, and he's showing more and more that he's a really smart offensive player in the lane with taking his time. And just, there was one play he did last night. He did a look away, and then he came around and dunked it over somebody. And I said, that's a Shaq move. It's a power move, a move that Shaq could do. When Scotty's big and strong like that, he can do moves like Shaq. So he literally did a Shaq move last night, a little bit of a look off, and then come up around and dunk it on somebody. And I love seeing that stuff. Of course, Scotty's doing the turnaround still. Scotty's still got, like, if you're going to lay off of me, I'm going to go ahead and take the open 3 or the open shot on the outside, and I'll probably nail it. His shooting on 3 has gone down. He's not having a very good stretch with the 3-point shooting. He's shooting in the 20s now, which is too bad for the whole year. And that is something that every single offseason, Scotty's going to have to work on and improve every single year. But he has. Every single summer, Scotty is working on his 3-point shooting, and he will again this summer too. And next year, he will probably have a better 3-point shooting year. This year hasn't been as good for threes as the year before, and it is too bad. But it's all, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And this is definitely an area that Scotty keys on in the offseason heavily, is getting his 3-point shooting percentage up. And he will again. He'll get it up there. Yeah, AJ Lawson in this game, 2 for 11, still not shooting the greatest. 1 for 7 from 3, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, a -8 with 7 points. I don't know why they have Eugenio Moroy on here. He did not play for the game. Castleton is a little bit better in this game than the night before when he only had 2 points. He was a little bit more capable and a little bit more out there fighting. I think part of it was that he had a center out there with a lot of times. He was playing with Orlando Robinson or Jakob Poeltl. And that was a really interesting look to see him out there like that. He was also very good on the boards to an extent too. 3 for 6 from the field. He missed his only 3-point attempt, 4 offensive rebounds for Castleton. And that was really huge right there. 6 altogether, 2 blocks also, a +7 with 6 points. Orlando Robinson, also a center off the bench, 24 minutes, 2 of 5, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 1 turnover, 7 points for Orlando Robinson. So, yeah, good team effort by the Raptors, and I like the big look. I like seeing the Raptors as a double center team. It's a very fun look, and in some ways, that team last night was conducive to play RJ at point guard and have double centers at the same time. It's kind of crazy. That is not something we could do regularly. It really is matchup specific with the team we're playing. So everybody who's going to say, "Oh, I want to see double centers all the time," well, we're probably not going to see double centers all the time. It may depend on the matchup whether we can or not. But yeah, there's your stars of the game, and looking at the box score for the Raptors game last night. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Nameless is saying, whenever I get down on the Raptors, I just think to myself, well, we could always be the Wizards. Yeah, they cracked on him. They was like saying, when's the last time the Wizards got a 50 win season? 1970 something. Yeah, it's sad, man. And I like Jack talking about relegation, but it's not realistic. You can't do that. And in some ways, like the whole idea Jack was proposing about them not being able to be in the lottery every year, that you can't do that either. Because in some ways, you cannot reward winning to the extent of like where the winner will just continue to get stronger and stronger. The way the system is right now is the right way. And Jack saying that, oh, a team that's been in the lottery every single year, like the Wizards, shouldn't be allowed to get more and more, top picks. Yeah, they should, even if they're horrible and they fail. I'm going to disagree with Jack on his statements about that stuff because I felt like he's a little crazy last night. Jack was a little crazy last night, very opinionated and wild and loose, and in some ways very feisty. Very, very feisty Jack Armstrong in the game last night. Very feisty. Yeah, let's see. G saying once they pulled Yak, the pulling punches started. Oh, well, on the same page, a win is a win and a loss is a win at this point because our bench will be able to beat starters in the near future. Yeah, it's just great experience for them. And you get more and more confidence from this kind of stuff for sure. It's so good. It's so good. I'm really happy in a lot of ways, other than the fact that they robbed that from us. That's the only thing. And in some ways, this is the action of the injustice that makes you mad. It's the injustice of it. Mike's saying Miami went to the finals from 8th. There isn't mid anymore, really. Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, Leo, I get it, man. You're older. I'm older too. But in some ways, I get it. I'm following the times and I'm keeping up with the trends. And this NBA is not the NBA of 10 years ago. This is not the NBA of Golden State with Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and them going against the LeBron and the Cavaliers every year in the finals. That shit's over and done with. That almost ruined the product, having the Warriors Cavs in the finals for like 3 years straight. And Adam Silver decided at that time, I don't want this shit happening anymore. We need to mix it up. We need different teams coming up every year so that it's fresh, so that it's different every year. And having this is the reason why this shit has happened. And I want more different teams to have a real solid chance to win it all. I really do. I really do. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We were in the same play-in. Miami beat DeMar and went on to the finals. That's right. When we were in the play-in and we lost to DeMar and the Bulls, then they went and played Kyle Lowry and the Miami Heat, and they beat them, and then they went all the way to the finals. I mean, it's very doable. That's one of the things was saying, like, playing for what? Well, we get in the play-in. We'll probably have to play the Cavs after the play-in if we get through the play-in, and that looks scary. But if you're Miami, you get the Bucks and then Acumto, there's a path there. There's a path. But I don't know. I think the Cavs are playing so well that whatever playing team will not beat them. But I would like to say maybe the Raptors, I don't know. We'd have to have Brandon come back very quickly, soon, and we'd have to be full strength. And Brandon would have to assimilate to playing with the team very quickly and fast. And we'd have to play at a top-notch level because the Cavs have been playing at a top-notch level since game 1 of the season. We saw them game 1 of the season. And they were already running, and they've been running all 82 games like this. So they have a lot of time accrued. So it would be very difficult, even if the Raptors got through the play-in. If they play the Cavs, they'd probably be getting stomped. Yeah, they probably would be, yeah. Let's see. Name is saying Jack had a little too many wobbly pops before the broadcast. I think Jack is just loose, man. Jack's a little bit more vibrant and lively. I'm seeing more content from Jack on social media on Instagram now. In fact, let's do the Instagram stories real quick. Why not? Since I brought it up, Masai Ujiri's got a post on Instagram stories for Happy Women's Day. I love to see it. Masai's in the Giants of Africa camp with the ladies and learning the basketball at Giants of Africa. And I love to see Masai smile. And of course, he really does champion equality and having a lot of women on staff that are helping out in all kinds of ways. And I love seeing the celebration of women last night at Scotiabank Arena with the flowers given out and all the kudos and all the nice things said. Kate Burness's birthday. Yeah, just a really good, fun stuff and really awesome. And I love that the Raptors are, leaning into, woke culture, as some people call it. I just call it, equality and inclusive culture when the world is kind of anti that all of a sudden. In some ways, the people that really do champion this stuff, should continue to do this in the face of the ugly racists and idiots and assholes that are trying to, get rid of this kind of stuff right now. So I love that we're doing the things like, Black History Month last month and the women's empowerment stuff now because this stuff is important. There's very, very bad people that are white supremacists, white males that are trying to run the U.S. government right now that are absolutely anti-women and anti-minorities. So it's more important than ever for the Raptors to be like they are. And, as people call them woke or DEI, whatever, those are good things. And the Raptors organization is like that, as I am. And we're proud to be like that. And that's what I'm saying. When the world is running down with all kinds of other bullshit in other places, well, we're going to stay steadfast in our beliefs and our values. And I'm with the Raptors on that. There you go. Norman Powell celebrating International Women's Day with some attractive women wearing his gear for Understand the Grind. Go check it out. Jared Rodent showing that steal by Jakob in the backcourt where he got the nice dunk in transition. Very, very cool stuff. Yeah, and he's saying happy birthday to his friend. There's Jack on the Instagram, guys. That's right. I'm following Jack on Instagram. There he is at the We the World Gala the other night with Matt and Masai on stage, and they were the judges, and they kind of talked about this a little bit on the air last night, judging the art on Wednesday night of the different players, and they're kind of being mean to the players. Like, listen, man, y'all don't need to put down their art. Maybe it's a conceptual art. Maybe it's abstract art. Maybe it's art that I get it. There's a little primitive art, some of it. But man, you don't have to burn those guys on the air like that, man. Be nice. Be nice. He said, Matt said they're good sports about it. They were good sports about it. And that's what matters. And it all was for charity and went to a good cause. That's right. Game night with Jack Armstrong. That's right. Feisty as ever. Jack is getting out there and getting feisty. That's right. We love it. There's Jamal Shed, young Jamal Shed with his, I guess that's like his mother. And he's saying, oh, nanny. Like, crazy I couldn't call you before the game today, Red. Love and miss you. Happy heavenly birthday, nanny. I felt your spirit with me all night, with me forever. There you go. That's beautiful. So Jamal remembering, I guess, is his grandmother, and she was with him yesterday because it was her birthday. So it could very well be that she was helping guide him to get that shot. And well, Josh Tiven, you're evil for taking it away from Jamal Shed in that way. That's not right. Yeah, and here we go. There's the highlight of Jamal making that shot, and his friends in the crowd robbed, is what his friends say. Taking the picture of him making the shot, the crowd going crazy, the whole entire arena going crazy. And then Josh Tiven had to be the Grinch. Old Grinch as Josh Tiven. That's right. Emmanuel Quickly coming out to the red carpet at the event on Wednesday night. I love that picture. There he is filming Scotty with the camera in practice. And there he is with a nice woman from his family with a big smile. IQ's had some posts on Instagram recently of him and his team. And man, it really does look like him and Scotty have really bonded strong from trio that have seemed like they bonded in the recent week, maybe around Jacoby's game winner. It's Jacoby, Emmanuel, and Scotty. Now, I know all the guys are good with each other, but I can tell a extra special bond of commonality in values and goals as a competitor in the NBA between Jacoby Walter, Emmanuel Quickly, and Scotty Barnes. So that's a really, really good thing. You can feel those vibes and those connections, and you can see them out there. So let's see. Is there anybody else? Teresa Resch got a nice card from the people that work with her saying that they love her as a leader for what she's doing with the Toronto Tempo, and happy International Women's Day. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. Yeah, let's see who else we got on the Instagram. Oh, that they had the a singer, one hit wonder, Kiza. Kiza was singing at halftime, and I was like, "Wait, who is this?" And I was like, "This song, I remember this song. Yeah, I remember this banger from like early 2000s." So they had the song Kiza do a little impromptu concert at halftime last night, and she sang it really well. And I was like, "I remember this song. I remember this song." One hit wonder. They had young women walking the players to the locker room yesterday in the walk-ins. They did a whole thing with Women's International Women's Day with the children coming in with them, the young girls. It's really cool. Yeah, so good stuff. I was right about the starting lineup yesterday for the Raptors: Jamal Shed, AJ Lawson, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes. I've been keeping track of how I do, and I got another 90%. And it's only because Poole played. I thought Poole wasn't going to play, and I said Bub Carrington was going to start, but I guessed 9 out of the 10 starters right. I got the Raptors right and just missed out on Jordan Poole. I didn't think he was going to play. I thought he was going to sit out. So 90% on Lex's starting guess of the starters game for yesterday. Jacoby Walter involved with the kids yesterday before the game for MLSC Launchpad. He come out and just doing a nice event with the kids, even though he wasn't playing last night. He did that stuff for MLSC Launchpad as the ambassador for that. I love it. Eric Smith putting women and Canadian basketball on blast for International Women's Day. Chris Boucher has shared a picture of his child who's already 2 years old. I guess it was Chris's little baby boy's birthday, and he's 2 years old. And we actually see him in this video. It's really crazy. So, yeah, that's beautiful. So, some things are more important than anything else. And to Chris, I'm sure his child is. So very, very cool to see Chris's child on their second birthday yesterday. There you go. And he's also posted something about a guy dancing in his room saying, imagine hating on me and I'm just in my room dancing and getting down. Jacoby Walter has posted pictures of him and Scotty. Quite a few on here. And there's that picture I was talking about, him and Scotty and IQ. Love to see that. Matt Devlin has got the highlight of Scotty Barnes with the big monster dunk against the Jazz on Friday night. Just so y'all know, on the ESPN top 10 for Friday night, Scotty got number 8 and number 2. Number 8 for the block and number 2 for the dunk. So he was 2 of the top 10 plays from Friday night. Ooh, there's a red-headed woodpecker on the wall, tree out there. That's cool, man. All right, I'm starting to get some nature back in my yard. That's a good thing. I like that. Lindsey Dunn had a really interesting interview with Jared Rhoden recently, where Jared Rhoden was playing for the Pistons. And they were going up against the Chicago Bulls and DeMar DeRozan a couple years ago. And Jared said to DeMar when he was at the free throw line, DeMar, you're like one of my favorite players of all time. I've studied you on tape a lot, and I've tried to learn from you. And I just think you're one of the greatest, man. And DeMar, this is what DeMar did. He told the equipment manager to get one of his jerseys signed and send it to Jared Rhoden. And so this is really cool to know that Jared Rhoden's a huge DeRozan fan. He has a lot of respect for him, and he gleans a lot of his what he wants to do as a player from things that he's learned from watching DeRozan. So how can you hate that? I mean, that's a real good way to get in good with the Raptors fans, saying you're a DeRozan disciple. And well, DeRozan really digs it too, and he gives back. In fact, he gave him the jersey, and in fact, on the Lindsey Dunn post of him talking about having the affinity for DeMar, he came in like that too. So DeMar's very aware of Jared Rhoden's passionate respect for him. And yeah, that's awesome, man. This is all good Raptor stuff right here. So Jared Rhoden loves DeMar DeRozan, guys. I don't know if y'all knew that. And well, he got that jersey from him. That's right. There's Lindsey Dunn with the announce crew for the 905 from Friday night, including Kia Nurse's sister. There, yeah. There's the super fan Mo, and she's got a quote here saying, "A woman embodies wholeness. She has the strength to create, the heart to nurture, and the power to transform. This Women's Day, celebrate the power, wisdom, and resilience that every woman embodies." And yes, we will celebrate that for the superfan Monique Lawrence, one of our extra special important people that we love for this channel. That's right, Monique. I love that so much. That's a great quote, Mo. Thanks for sharing that. There's something weird here. I don't know what's going on with Kelly Olynyk here. Who are these guys? I don't know who these guys are. There's something weird going on with Kelly Olynyk. It looks like they're drinking vino, some wine or something. Let's see. Is there anything else that's new on here? Oh, the Raptor has a new poll up saying who wore it better. Scotty wore a shaggy hat and a fur coat to the game on Friday. And the Raptor has a picture of him doing the same thing. Those are funny when he does those. The Raptor says, who wore it better between him and a player? There you go. There's your Instagram stories. Interesting stuff going on with the Raptors right there. Yeah. Yeah. And needless to say, Jack's starting to get a little senile, obviously. Happens to the best of us after a certain age. I don't know. That's insulting. Listen, the signs of senility are more forgetting names or not being able to do your job right. And I don't see that happening with him. I think he's just feisty. And in some ways, he has his things that he likes, like going to the bar after the game, and he doesn't like long delays with challenge calls. So it's just Jack, man. Jack being Jack. I love Jack. And God forbid, we want Jack to be with us for a long, long time, still calling our games as much as possible. G saying Walter, Dagger, and Jamal's almost buzzer beater all over social media, 2 by rookies within a short time. Future is bright. Yeah, NBA, I'm going to say something. Shame on y'all for not paying attention to the great rookie class that's in Toronto this year. Well, these guys are going to come and make you pay attention to them by the end of the year. If nobody knew who Jacoby Walter was this season, well, they do after Orlando. Nobody knew about Jamal Shed up in Toronto. Well, after last night, everybody's seeing this highlight and seeing what happened. And it'd be interesting to see how many people actually think that he should have gotten that basket counted for him, or how many of them are haters that hate the Raptors and say, yeah, that's awesome. I love that they didn't make that. I mean, I'm just saying, they have not appeared on any rookie rankings anywhere. And nobody said anything about the amazing job that Bobby Masai did last summer with the 5 new young rookies. In fact, on the broadcast, they don't even say it's 5. They always say it's 4. Jack Armstrong saying, that rookies for this year, the 4 rookies are so good this year. Jonathan, Jacoby, Jamison, and Jamal. Well, you forgot about Shamshay. And when you come down the road, Jack Armstrong, in 2 or 3 years from now, when Shamshay is starting to appear in a certain way, you're going to have to add that list. And you're going to be saying then, holy crap, the Raptors did so good in 2024 in the draft and that summer with their 5 rookies that they acquired that year. All 5 hitting right on it. And that's why Masai said last year after the draft, I feel better now, because he knew he did his work in acquiring those 5 men to be on the Raptors this year. Yeah, and Shamshay's the one who's going to come and pay off the biggest in some ways over time in later times too. And Jack Armstrong will be like, whoa. I've always known that Jack Armstrong's blind spot with the Raptors is the 905. This guy does not pay attention to the 905 at all, and you can tell. In some ways, it's a detriment to him doing his job. I get it. It's a tough workload to watch the Raptors 905 too. I know. I do it. But, Jack, you need to be more familiar with 905 in certain ways, honestly, to do your job better. Honestly. I think that Matt keeps a little bit of a pulse on the 905 to a degree. And Alvin, I don't know. But seriously, if y'all really want to know what's going on with the Raptors, you need to be watching their G League team also, Raptors commentators, because this is so much crossover with guys coming up and going. In some ways, you need to be paying attention so you can understand exactly what's happening down there, because y'all are not talking about Shamshay in the correct way on the Raptors broadcast and the potential that this guy's going to have in the long run. I'm telling you. Mike saying, I dropped how many picks is too many video. Oh, yeah, I saw it. Mike put out a video yesterday with Sam Presti in the picture. And this is something that we've talked about on this channel a little bit, but I like that Mike is tackling this topic, which is waste. That's what it is, essentially. It's waste. You know, listen, every single thing in this world is a price. They say there's no free lunch. Well, the OKC team, they have a lot of draft picks, and they stockpile them. And everybody thinks Sam Presti is a genius for this. But in some ways, I would make the argument, I'm sure this is what Mike does on his video. I haven't watched it yet, but I highly recommend everybody watching it, that Sam Presti is one of the most wasteful GMs in the entire league. He gets all these really valuable draft picks, and a lot of them don't pan out on anything. It's a lot of waste. In some ways, you could make the argument that Bobby Masai was less is more with quality over quantity is a really sound, smart strategy that doesn't waste any kind of resources or benefits or advantages or things that the Raptors get. In some ways, the OKC Thunder are wasting shit left and right. Hello, Alexei Poku. So I'm just saying, it's a very interesting subject, the idea of draft pick waste. All the talk on the broadcast and in ESPN, oh, this team has 12 first-round draft picks in the next 5 years. I'm like, I'm not impressed. because there's going to be some waste involved in that. And I'm sure this is the subject that Mike's tackling on this Sam Presti look that he's talking about on his channel. So y'all give a subscription. Follow Logical Raptors Fanatic. He's been on fire lately. I just caught up on a bunch of his videos on Friday. He has an amazing video out on Joel Embiid and talking about how bad he's doing. I see you got a lot of views on that, Mike. You keep going, man. You keep going. You're doing fantastic. I love your content right now. It's the you're actually you just hit your sweet spot, man. You know exactly what you're doing. And if you do 5-minute clip, 10-minute clip, that's fine. Just riff on what you got to say and keep doing what you're doing, Mike. You're doing so good, man. Seriously. Yeah, Sam Presti is actually mid, is what he's saying. This is what he's come to the conclusion and doing the analysis of the draft pick stuff that he's talking about. Yeah, he's saying, I dropped the how many picks is too many video. I'm tired of slander towards our front office. I'm showing how other GMs are making more mistakes. Laugh out loud. The Raptors' effective asset rate is high level. That's what I'm saying. For every Malachi and every Koloko, there's like 3 or 4 guys that hit for the Raptors and have been useful for us and have come through our system. You know, the track record of Masai and Bobby since they first started, whether it's trading guys away and getting really good stuff in return, whether it's drafting and not necessarily the best spots in the draft, but making gold happen like Siakam and Anunoby. I'm just saying, the track record's there. They got Fred VanVleet undrafted. And what that man's a $40 million man at this day. So I'm just saying, you know, I love this kind of content, Mike. Keep it coming. Yeah, keep it coming. Wayne's here. Good to see Wayne. Morning, Raptor Freaks. The result of the game was fair, and the district took what we gave them. Let's see how we bounce back tomorrow. There you go. Wayne's not going to be like, yeah, we got robbed, we got cheated. He's going to say it is what it is. Josh Tiven called it down the line. He did it exactly by the book. And that's why this came out. I still think we should have had an extra second on the clock from the play that they were looking at from before. The timeout gets called sooner. There should have been 3 seconds on the clock. And, well, just a 1/10 of a second more. Shed's basket makes it. But, hey, this may actually be the best thing for the Raptors, staying below the Nets and the Sixers in the standings, because that really was the switch right there. That is so crazy that it's just that 1/10 of a second is going to determine whether Raptors are above the Nets and the Sixers in the standings or below them. It was just like that. Just that little slight slim hair is deciding it. It's crazy, Wayne. Always good to see the sergeant at arms, Wayne Strainer, in the house. G saying no Ingram, Grady, Oshai, Mobo, Quickly, Walter, Boucher, and even Temple and Shamshay. Yeah, none of those guys. And who was missing for them? Malcolm Brogdon? Okay. Malcolm Brogdon? Okay. Name is saying build a system and the players will come. Dude, this is the thing. People can look at the Raptors and say, man, they look like they're having fun up there. Man, I would love to play for the Raptors. They always seem like they got good things going up there. It's Masai, I'm telling you, man. Masai's cool as hell. That dude, I would want to work for him, man. He's not like the other presidents in the league. He's a real one. He's nice. He talks to you. Yeah, you know, these guys are here in Chicago. They're assholes. Something like that. Not Chicago. Mark Eversley's all right. But I'm just saying, I just named the team arbitrarily just there. Yeah. Let's see. Mike saying Sam Presti gave the Rockets Sengun for picks that didn't convey. Laugh out loud. So they got nothing for him. Laugh out loud. People saying that's the best GM. Look at this. Mike is coming for Sam Presti. In some ways, I get it. In some ways, it's like he's rivaling our front office for the best front office in the league, according to Charles Barkley. So it's like, why not Sewer, Sam Presti? And then all of a sudden, Bobby and Masai rise to the top. That's right. I like this, Mike. I like this action you're doing here, man. And that stuff about Sengun, that's awesome. I'll bet that's in your content. I go saying OKC also drafted IQ. What? Did they draft IQ? I don't remember that. Logical saying, yeah, 25th and traded him to the Knicks in 2020. Oh, okay. They did? They drafted Emmanuel quickly and traded him to the Knicks? Well, that was a fail too. Wow, you guys are really coming after Sam Presti today. This is not on my bingo card for today. But hey, I'm all right with it. G saying that Ingram has not stopped smiling since being a Raptor. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty good PR. Is that like, yeah, Brandon's really happy. And he hasn't even played yet. I can't wait to see him get success and do things for the Raptors team that are on a high level. And, man, everything's going to be so much fun next year. I'm really excited about next year. They're going to have to If they really want to fuck up the Raptors with the schedule, well, just try us, motherfuckers. You already given us some crazy ass schedules the last couple years, and well, give us the gauntlet. We'll run through it next year because we are badasses, and you guys could give us this crazy ass messed up shit where you give us all our easy games at the end of the year when nobody wants to win. Yeah, that's totally convoluted shit. I knew this shit was going to happen when I saw the schedule at the beginning of the year. When I saw how front loaded our schedule was, and at the end of the year, we're going to be in a point where we have all our games that we could win easily at the end of the year. But at that point, we're probably going to be so bad that everybody's not going to want us to win. I called this in September when the schedule came out that this shit would be happening right now. And in some ways, I was gearing up for it all season to be like, yeah, I'm anti-tank. I'm anti-losing because in some ways I understood the yin and the yang of the season. And you get your easy games, you're supposed to win those. But it's insidious and kind of weird and evil that the NBA gave all our easy games at the end of the season at a point where nobody wants to win anymore at this time. That's messed up. Well, we just do what we do. We go through the season this year, and next year, do whatever the fuck you're going to do. We'll run your gauntlet, and we're going to kick some ass because Brandon's here. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Trevor saying, no one can take away from your success. It might seem far from afar. It might seem from afar, but success always hole in the eyes of the holder. What? When man said you cannot, God said you can. Okay. Okay. Well, this pertains to Jamal's game-winning shot. I like that. All right. All right. Wayne's saying if LeBron is injured, that's a Western standing game changer. Luka can't carry a team by himself. My only regret about our loss last night is that Jakob's efforts were not rewarded with a win. Yeah, he played hard. That's the thing. We don't want our guys to pull punches. We want them to play full out and practice playing full out. How do you do that and still manage to lose the Wizards? Well, that's right there. All right, I'm going to give a little bit of a shine to Jordan's excellence from shooting last night. 12 of 20, 7 of 12 from 3. And he was really locked in. And he was a hair trigger. Like if he had that a little bit of room, he was just shooting it like Steph would. So there was a little bit of Jordan Poole channeling Steph Curry last night. 34 points, a +6, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers. Yeah. And also, I want to give a little bit of a light to Bilal Coulibaly with a double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 7 of 15 from the field. That young man is really active and good. That wasn't just Victor's sidekick. That guy's a bona fide NBA player. And him rising up in the draft wasn't just because he was friends with Victor. That kid is really good. 8 offensive rebounds for him last night. He was annoying. Also, double-double for Alex Sarr, who I was not as impressed with. There were a couple baskets Alex Sarr made that were pretty good, like Jack said. But that dude, I'm telling you, man, that was the second highest pick or the first pick, or I don't even remember. Was he the first or the second pick? Yeah, he was the second pick. Yeah, he sucks, man. That was the second pick from last year. The way he plays out there, that's crazy. Yeah, it was fun to see Justin Champagnie get in for 1 minute and block one shot. He got in for 4 minutes, and that's all he did. He blocked a shot, and that's all he did. Interesting to see Chris Middleton playing for the Wizards. In some ways, it don't seem right. It seemed like the Bucks did him dirty. Like, why would you do that to Chris Middleton? Seriously, you did him dirty. But I'll say on the other side of the coin, Marcus Smart totally fits on being the Wizards at this time in his career. Yeah, he deserves it. He deserves to be on the Wizards. But Chris Middleton don't. That's wrong. We found out yesterday that PJ Tucker has signed with the New York Knicks. Okay. Some people are saying, PJ, why don't you just retire? Either way, I think it's a waste of time. It's stupid. In some ways, are you ring chasing? Is this why you're doing this, PJ? I don't think you're going to get to do nothing for the Knicks. And Knicks fans that are overvaluing PJ Tucker and this move, man, that man's been washed for 3 years. You think he's going to show up and help y'all in any kind of way? No, he's not. So, yeah, if he does and we see something from him, I'll be laughing because I know he's going to make y'all mess up by the end of it. So you go on then, PJ Tucker, and sign with the Knicks on this 10-day contract or whatever you're on right now. It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's silly. So silly. Yeah, Jimmy's saying, I can't wait to see Ingram in a Raptors uniform. Well, we've seen him in the pictures, but not on the court. And I'm with you, Pope, of positivity. I want to see him out there too. And I want to see him before the end of the season. I really do. Trevor's saying, we all have to be excited about what this team will do next season. We are sending a message to the rest of the NBA. We are coming. Yeah. The trends are all these things. See, in some ways, what team when it's developing and rebuilding and coming up, there's no set schedule of progress. And I think this is the thing that people are having a problem with. They hear the word rebuild and they just think mired in losing at the bottom of the league for years. That's not the case. Bad teams that don't know how to get out of rebuild quite fast, that they can hang out down there in the basement and dwell down there for as long as they want. Washington. But no, the Raptors are not like that. And in some ways, we're going to do this on our own schedule. And in some ways, what we're doing has not been lining up with the regular NBA schedule. Some of it may have to do partly with the so many midseason trades last year to change our roster to the one that we have now from the old one with Siakam and Anunoby. And it kind of threw everything off a half season because in some ways the rebuild actually started when we traded like those guys and got Kelly Olynyk and Oshai and Emmanuel and RJ. And, the rebuild went for half a whole season, half of last year and the first half of this year. And then when January hit, we had more health on our team. We showed up with everybody healthy, barbecue yak, and we were winning in January. And we were showing the real us. And we're still that real team, even though in some ways people don't want us to win for this whole season. So it's weird. We're kind of on the NBA schedule. It's like half off of it. And I'm okay with it. It's all fine. We should be on our own unique schedule and stop telling the Raptors what to do, Raptors fans, just because you think that all the other teams in the league do things a certain way and we need to do it the same way as them. That's the biggest fault of Raptors Nation in some ways. Just taking like there's a textbook for the NBA and say, this is how you do everything. This is the protocol. Motherfucker, each team can make their own way. And we have to make our own way because we're the only Canadian team in this league. So we do things a little bit differently. And that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's see. Wayne's saying blaming the referees is a cop-out, Raptors freaks. Love him or hate him, Poole played well and beat us. As Raptor freaks, we can't be making